CBS 17 is your local election headquarters. With power in Raleigh at stake, Democrats in North Carolina are trying to do things differently in 2024.
They've recruited significantly more people to run for the state legislature after leaving many races uncontested in 2022. Capitol reporter Michael Hyland is live in Raleigh tonight. And Michael, the focus is going to be on whether Republicans can keep the supermajority.
Right. When the new chair of the state Democratic Party came in, it was a top priority of hers to try to get somebody to run in all of the districts for the General Assembly. Republicans did not approach it that way this time, and they talked to me about why. Having just redrawn the districts for the General Assembly, Republicans will try in 2024 to hang on to their veto-proof supermajority. State Democratic Party Chairwoman Anderson Clayton wants to prevent that.
And this Democratic Party wants to make sure that we are giving people choices across every community and every county, regardless of how rigged these maps have been for the Republican Party.
She said it frustrated her that in 2022, Democrats did not have candidates in 44 of the state's 170 districts. This time, Democrats are running in all but 2 of them. It was a priority of Clayton's when she ran for party chair, including getting candidates in rural areas.
We have left out communities just because we haven't been showing up in them. And the number one thing that we're going to be able to do this year is show up, because we're going to have people running in these communities for the first time.
We didn't go out searching for just live bodies.
Republican State Representative Jason Sain was heavily involved in recruiting people in his party to run. The Republicans do not have candidates in about 20% of districts. Sain questioned pushing people to run in districts they would almost certainly lose.
There's people that are very questionable that have filed. I think as we learn more and more about some of the folks that they recruited to run for some of these offices, we'll find that they really did scrape sometimes the bottom of the barrel.
While more voters will have choices in 2024, the parties know where the true competition is.
There will be a handful of very competitive races that both parties will throw a lot of money at, and then that will be what decides who's going to be in charge.
It shows that the Democrats are putting some time and effort into it. And the second reason strategically it's important is that it diverts resources.
In last year's election, in 20% of the districts, only one person filed to run in each of those races. In next year's election, that's down to about 14%. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
All right, Michael, thank you.